All right, welcome back to 21090, everyone. Today, in our very first Cellar Series, we are going to be talking about pumpkin beer, and why not? It's a beautiful fall day here in Severna Park. We're about to go inside and talk to the owner, Mike, who's going to let us sample two really good ones side by side. Just a background that you may not know, pumpkin beers actually date all the way back to the 1700s when the Pilgrims did not have access to barley because it was too expensive. It was fermentable, probably didn't taste great, not like what we're drinking today. The resurgence came back with the lattes and the pumpkin spice coffees and things like that. Why not throw it in beer? It's become huge and something we look forward to every single fall season. So come on inside because we're about to get kicked off episode 1 of our Cellar Series. Welcome back to 1090, everyone. I'm Andy, this is Todd, and we are happy to have Mike with us today, who's going to be joining us for the first of many in our Cellar Series. Today we're talking about pumpkin beers, and all the rage today. It seems like every small craft brewery or large one has one, but today we're talking about Southern Tier, about 60 miles east of Erie, Pennsylvania. What started as a very small operation in 2002 has become a large-scale operation now. And so we're going to be excited to try two of these beers side by side, the 17 and the 18, and Mike is going to lead us through a little bit of that journey. So tell us a little about what to expect today, Mike.
So pumpkin beers typically invoke like the seasons, like the flavor of the fall season. So when you're drinking the pumpkin beer, the things that you typically look for are pumpkin spice, cinnamon, allspice, clove, pie crust is something that some beers like Pumking is unique too. I think one of the things with pumpkin beers is that it kind of brings us back to childhood. It's kind of like a whimsy type of beer that evokes those memories of Halloween growing up, like the seasons, the smells, the flavors. And pumpkin is like always been one of the most popular of the pumpkin beers because of this. I think they do a really good job of, not just the packaging and the labeling, but the flavors that we get out of it. So as we taste these, that's what we're going to want to look for is like the taste of fall, like pumpkin spice, like cinnamon, allspice.
Pumpkin King was one of the originals though, right? It was one of the first ones that are out that sort of cornered the market.
It is, especially as far as like one of the more widely accepted or widely respected beers out there.
And let's be honest, there's a lot out there now. They're not all great. There's some pumpkin, they can be hit and miss. This has been solid for a while. They actually call themselves the king of pumpkin beers. And so let's see if they live up to that title today. So where are we starting, Mike? What's the first one we're going to start with today?
We will start with the 2018.
Okay.
Right? The 2018 is a present beer. It's a medium-bodied ale, so it doesn't drink too heavy.
Okay.
And we're going to notice like a really mild hop presence, but you should still get the flavors of the pumpkin and all the pumpkin seasonings in there.
All right, let's take a
Grab
look
a glass,
at it.
guys.
So if you look at the color between the two, I hate to get a comparison, but they're very similar from year to year, so they're not a big difference. The one thing we will say when we taste the 2017, that's a draft. So that has been cellared and it's a keg. It's a draft beer. So here's
Take a little whiff of this. You can definitely get the spices up front. A little clove, a little kind of nutmeg on there.
Very heavy on the nose with the clove.
Pie crust, sort of. You smell that? When you said that word pie crust, now I'm
a little bit of a graham in there.
And they use Munich malt for this, and some caramel. So cheers, boys.
All right. Pumpkin 2018.
It almost tastes like pie, right? It has that like pie flavor, but it's not a cloying sweetness.
No,
right?
and it does have a little bitterness at the end. You get a little bit on the back end of that.
A little bitter finish. I don't know what the IBUs are.
No,
I think it's about 30 IBUs.
It was 30 IBUs.
It's pretty mild.
And what's the ABV? Do we know?
It's about 8.6, I believe. So
Okay.
It's an Imperial.
It's got some kick to it. It doesn't finish that big. It's very drinkable for being 8.6. But that's nice.
Yeah, it is. It's not. I think it's blended really well. It's very well balanced. It's not overly sweet, I don't think. That's a good thing. I've tasted some pumpkin beers that are really, really sweet. It
Sure.
tastes like pumpkin pie. Like, and I'm not.
Some pumpkin beers you can only drink when the seasons change and it's cold too,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You could drink this on like a hot day.
time.
You could drink this on like a warm day. And come on, pumpkin beers come out in August nowadays.
Yeah,
They don't
right.
come out in October like they used to. So
Well, and you're still drinking beer. I mean,
Yeah.
some of those
Yeah.
beers are so
Yeah.
dessert-like that, yeah, that's exactly what you're saying. This still feels, tastes, and kind of has the body of a beer, which is nice.
Totally.
So tell me what to expect difference as far as from a cellaring standpoint, because now the 17, which we had on draft, that's been sitting for a year.
Yes.
How is that going to change the body, the complexity, the aromas that we're going to be finding in the 2017?
Sure. Some of the stronger flavors will subside. That finish where you do feel some of the bitterness will subside.
Okay.
You know, some of the more subtle flavors of the beer will come out. It is an Imperial, which has a higher alcohol percentage. So at 8%, above 8%, it does hold well for aging because you will always get that alcohol flavor out of a high ABV beer. But some of the hops are gonna like die down, and it's not a very hoppy beer to begin with. So what we're gonna look for is some more of the subtleties of the pumpkin pie flavors in there, especially on the finish.
Okay.
So let's get a nose on this, guys. Again, you're right. The nice amber
right.
color on this.
Cheers.
Now, the nose on that, I don't know if it's because
Maybe not as strong.
No, not as strong on the pumpkin pie flavor.
the bitterness is definitely on the finish. It's muted.
And you can see in the end, like that vanilla comes through.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, the
pie
flavor
crust,
comes
like on the first one, you could smell the pie crust.
Yep.
But you don't get much flavor out of the 2018 on the pie crust.
Yeah.
On this now, like when you're finishing, you get that graham cracker kind of on the back of your tongue as you finish it.
This is nice.
I wouldn't recommend aging it more than a year because it is mild. I don't know that the flavors will hold up for 2 to 3 years.
Right.
But if you do hold that out, and typically we do this, and pumpkin will be the first pumpkin beer that we release, and it'll be our vintage. So we stash a keg of it away, and every year our first pumpkin beer is pumpkin.
You know, the nice thing here is that with the aging, the flavors have had time to really balance together. You're getting a touch more of the sweetness. The spices hold surprisingly well. You know, we've brewed the pumpkin beer 2 years in a row. Haven't aged one for a year, so I don't have any way to compare it.
Which 2 weeks? Or 2 months.
2 months, yeah, aged for about 2 months. This is really nice because it's settled down where the bitterness doesn't hit you quite as hard, and everything is very, very balanced on the 2017. So another neat thing about what you'll find here at Hella's is that not only are you going to get a large selection of craft beers, cellar beers that you're probably not going to find anywhere else in the area, but Mike is also a guru at pairing these beers with the right food for the right beer. And this, again, tells me that I want to pair this with something, but if for those of you out there who don't know what to pair it with, tell me what would work well with the Pumking?
Sure, the Pumpkin will be very complementary with similar type flavors, fall type flavors. You know, sweet potato fries is something like if you're looking for a little snack because, you know, the cinnamon and the clove in that, spices that go really good with yam and sweet potato. A dish that we do here, a specialty dish that we do that this goes really well with, especially the aged version because of like the way that the spices come forward, is a caramel apple pork chop, where we take pork chops and we rub them with a like a cinnamon and brown sugar spice, grill
That sounds
them,
amazing.
put them over whipped sweet potatoes, and make a butterscotch sauce with apples. It's delicious.
Very good.
It complements it. The malts work really well with it, and it's just something that really goes well with that dish, and it's great to eat this time of year.
We'll be coming back for that. So if
still
you're
out.
in the area, anywhere around Annapolis, Baltimore, come
Let's go
find
there.
Hella's because not only are you going to get great drink, good food, a knowledgeable staff, it's a winner in my book. And also, I think a great way to start the Cellar Series. This was fun to do side by side. I would recommend if you have a chance to get the 2018, go ahead and sit on one for a year and do your own comparison next year when the 2019 comes out. See what you think. We've had fun doing other kinds of beers.
Great.
This has been a great experience, and we're looking forward to doing this often with you all. So,
Nice.
Mike, thank you again.
Yeah, Mike.
This has been really cool, man.
Thank you.
Been fun.
Great job, Mike.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
So, cheers, everybody.
All right.
Cheers.
Until next episode.
All right, excellent.
Ready?
Yep. Awesome. You're a natural, Stavlas.
I don't know about all that.
All right, so we're outside of Hella's here. We're gonna get ready to go inside and do some pumpkin beer, blah, blah, blah. What's that sound look like? What's the shot look like? And you can't have this come up on me or it's gonna look a little funny.
Should I look at the camera when I'm talking, or should I look at you guys? Like, who
You do
should I
both.
look at?
Todd tends to always do this and stare at the camera, and I tell him it doesn't look as, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like kind of looking at the person. Every now and then you turn to make contact. I'm working on with that. It's slow learner.
Mike, you're natural.
Yeah, didn't it great?
Natural.
All right.
You're natural.
There you go. I
That's
appreciate
awesome.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done.